Unit 4, Nutrition. I want to remind you that it's so important to read all the text in Canvas as you're going through. My videos don't have everything you need to know on them. You need to read all the print, all the text that's in your online. You don't need any other book or supplement, but you do need to read everything that is in the typed out text, okay? I want to make sure that you understand that. All right, so boy, nutrition is so difficult, especially in home health, because, you know, people that are ill, people that are debilitated, lots of times just don't have an appetite. If you don't feel good, if you don't have energy, if you're not up moving around, lots of times you just don't have a good appetite. Nonetheless, especially if we're ill and needing to mend and get better, or if you're older, the elderly especially need more nutrients but less calories. They need an additional 1/3 more nutrients because we're not absorbing as well as we used to, but we need 1/3 less calories. That's really hard to do. In order to do that, you're really needing to eat some nutrient-dense food. But what do we find in the elderly? Do they like the nutrient-dense food? Do the folks that you take care of, do they say, oh my gosh, I hope I get to eat some kale and some carrots and maybe some mangoes? No. They want mashed potatoes and gravy and chicken and noodles. And how much nutrients are in those? Not much. So it is a real struggle. It's a real struggle trying to get enough nutrients into these folks. So why is that such a struggle? There can be a lot of things. One thing is oral health. You know, these folks, back in the day, they didn't have root canals. People didn't go to the dentist all the time. If you had a toothache, you went to the dentist and got your tooth pulled. And, you know, by the time they were getting dentures, by the time they were 40, 50 years old. And if they're 85, 90, the dentures no longer fit. But there's no payer source for dental work or for dentures. Most Medicare and Medicaid don't cover it. And so you will find a lot of your elderly with terrible fitting dentures or broken off teeth or dental caries, lots of problems in here. And that's going to affect their ability to eat nutritious food. Another thing is depression. You know, eating alone, cooking a meal and eating alone is just not a whole lot of fun day after day. It's just not. And so if your agency allows you to do so, sit down with them. Sit down with them for part of the meal. Help them get going. Visit with them. Maybe eat with them a little bit if it's allowed with your agency. It usually helps. Studies have shown that that helps. Another thing might be the ability to make their food. What's easier to make? A honey bun and a glass of milk, or a tossed salad with lots of veggies in it? Oh, that's easy, obviously. But which one has more nutrients? It's harder. It's harder to cook a good, well-balanced meal than just to open up a prepackaged food. So that's why if you are to help make food for them, it's really important that you make something they like but is also nutritious as much as possible. But always remember, the best food is the food that is eaten. And they do have a right to refuse. Although sometimes you can get them to do more things for you just by getting them to trust you and to sit down and visit with them and encourage them. I do want to also say that other tips that might help are making the portion small. So using, for instance, if I was going to make someone vegetable soup, I might put it in a small bowl. Then I might get another small bowl and put a little cottage cheese in it. Because if they see a big portion coming at them, lots of times they'll just no, they don't want it. So that's something else to think about. Also, someone who has had diabetes for many years may have gastroparesis, which the stomach does not let go of the food. The food isn't digested fast enough, and that can also hinder their ability to eat much. So smaller portions more frequently tend to help those folks. A few other things, tips I'm going to show you in my next video that might help you with a person that just needs a little help in their good, nutritious food consumption.